Jeff Heggie, Daily Success Strategies. Thanks for being with me today. Today, what I want to talk about is how to keep someone's confidence up when you're not doing well. How to keep in the mental game when things are going against you and you're struggling. Had a conversation. You've heard Jamy Bechler on here with me before, and we had this conversation. And as I've talked before, there's so many things with sports analogies that transfer over into different areas of your life, whether you're an entrepreneur or whatever you are. And so I want you to look at this conversation as something that could be more applicable to you if you're not in athletic field, if you're in a different area. But listen to what we talk about. I give them the scenario that you're a team that is 0-11. And how do you keep the confidence up of the team, and what do you do as the leader? And we talk about different things from the leadership perspective, from developing the mindset to stay positive and keep going. So listen to this and I'll be back with you in a moment.
And again, I love how we can phrase it and get the same thing, whether it's sports or something outside of sports. But looking at sports, you're 0-11. Mm-hmm. How do you keep a team motivated?
There are different 0-11 teams. But hopefully, as the coach, as a leader, you have your finger on the pulse of what is important to them. Why are you guys 0-11? Did you expect to be 0-11, or did you expect to be 7-4? Did you expect to have a winning season? You had a bunch of injuries. Has adversity struck? Are you really close in all those games? Did you miss a couple buzzer beaters, or did someone hit a couple buzzer beaters if it's basketball? So you have to know the situation, but leaders are dealers in hope. So as a leader, you're constantly providing hope for them. And so hopefully what you've done is, what makes all of your leaders or all of your athletes tick. What inspires them, what motivates them, and what their goals are. And so you're constantly reminding them of what their goals are. Hey, this, and then also hopefully you're talking about the process. And I know the process gets overblown, and Nick Saban at Alabama makes the process look good, makes it look easy. But if you're talking about process from the get-go, then you're going to have a better chance of keeping them focused on every single game could be the game that it gets turned around. We're going to constantly be focused on the process. If your goal is to go 28-2 or to win 25 games, then you don't leave yourself a lot of leeway. You don't give yourself a lot of room if something goes wrong with that. That's your goal. There's a specific thing. But if your goal is every day we're going to try to get better, our goal is we're going to try to do things right, essentially, the process, then wins are going to take care of themselves. Losses sometimes will take care of themselves. And I know that's not what coaches want to hear. They want a hack, or they want I need 3 tips. What can I do exactly? And sometimes it's create a culture of growth. Your culture is always about growth. Your culture is always about, are we doing the best that we can? And that's the same way, if you win a game, you're not bashing them over the head with a club because you didn't do as well as you could, but you are celebrating the win, but you're reminding them of, this isn't the end. This isn't our end game. Yes, we're excited to have won, but we're gonna try to get better. We're constantly trying to grow. We're constantly trying to get better. All 15 athletes are trying to grow, but as a team, we're trying to grow as well. And so that starts, you say 0-11. 0-11 starts when you're 0-0, when you're 0-0. It starts, your losses in December, how you deal with your losses in December started back in August, started in July at basketball camp, started after your last loss that ended the season the year before. You're in that locker room. Hey, next season starts now. Next season starts now. So yes, most of us look at, we're 0-11. What do I do now? Well, what you do now is what you should have been emphasizing, preaching, reinforcing, rewarding the whole time. What is your culture like? And even the best cultures go through ups and downs, go through losing streaks. So I don't have a great, do this, do that, do this. If you have a strong culture, you're not going to need to panic. You're not going to need to knee jerk react and be like, all right, I'm totally changing the starting lineup, or we're totally changing our offense. We're totally changing our defense. If you have a strong culture that's process oriented, you can make adjustments. But your culture should be constantly reminding those kids that we're trying to be the best that we can be. And yeah, we haven't won like we should, but you're doing this, it's going to turn around. I'll give you a story. After all that, I'll give you a story that I use with a lot of teams, especially that are struggling. This guy way back in the day, R.U. Darby. All right. During the 1840s, Gold, he goes out to California. He's from the East Coast, goes out to California, visions of grandeur. He's going to hit the mother lode of gold, get rich. So he digs, and he finds, little specks here and there, but he never finds the mother lode. He gets frustrated. He sells his stuff, goes back to the East, and the people he sold it stuff to, they go out to where R.U. Darby was mining for gold, and they find the mother lode 3 feet, an arm's length, 3 feet away from where he stopped. If he had kept going 3 more feet, he would have hit the mother lode. I can't guarantee that we're only 3 feet away. I can't guarantee that if you keep going and doing the process that you're going to go on a winning streak or you're going to win a championship. Can't promise. What I can promise is that beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you give up, if you get frustrated, discouraged, and you quit, mentally or physically, if you quit, you will never get to that point. You will never get to that championship. You will never get to that next win. I don't know if you'll get there if you keep going, but I do know you won't get there if you quit. And so how many of us are 3 feet away from our goals and we just quit too soon, mentally or physically?
I think the mental quitting happens before the physical.
Yeah, it's like if you run a mile on a track and I'm watching you and you quit mentally, I might not be able to notice that. Like your time will go slower, but most people's time gets slower. I won't necessarily notice when you quit. If you were on a treadmill running a mile, I know the instant that you mentally quit because you fly off the back of that treadmill.
Yeah.
So a lot of us, though, when we're going through life, it's like we're on that track. Most of us quit long before anybody really knows that we quit. Or what happens is, oh man, your time wasn't very good on that track. Oh, your time wasn't very good. We see the result, but the result was based on them quitting mentally, 10 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago. And that's what happens is you see this losing streak, man, what do we do? Man, these 3 games have been rough. Yeah, but you really quit 5 games ago. You quit 6 games ago. It's just caught up to us now.
All right. Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate that. One of the best quotes I've heard is leaders are dealers in hope. I love that quote, Jamie. I appreciate that. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen that I've actually posted that quote, but I think it's a great thing to look at. I've talked about Steph Amundsen always used to say, hope is so much greater than fear. And that's true. And as a leader, if you can help your team, your employees, whatever it is you're dealing with, have that hope and understanding that if you go through the right process, you can either turn things around or achieve the goals that you're after. So as a leader, what are the things that you need to do to create that hope and to create the plan and agenda that you need to follow so that you're going to be successful? One of the things I'd love you to check out is my High Achievers Mindset Secrets. Go to mindset.jeffheggie.com and you'll be able to find out more about that. And it'll teach you how, for yourself or any other high achievers as a team, you can go through the process of developing the mindset that's going to help you get to the next level. Also, make sure to check out the show notes. It'll have all of Jamie's information, his contact information, where you can follow him, get in contact with him, all those different things. But thanks again, Jamie. I appreciate that, and I will see you all tomorrow.